Episode 1 of Furious opens on Halloween night with a man desperately trying to escape from a house. She notices a man crawling away, heads back inside, mocks him, injects him with drugs and leaves him to die. We then shift to FBI agent Alice Black, who is stuck on phone duty after leaving the NYPD. Her superior Mason Adkins calls her into his office and tells her that her former colleague, Detective Danny Kelly, wants her help on a case. Now Alice arrives at a crime scene and reunites with Danny, who reveals the victim is Caleb Easton, the son of billionaire Jay Easton. On the surface, Caleb appears to have died from a drug overdose, but Alice immediately suspects this was staged. She searches the house and finds a bathroom that smells strongly of bleach, along with scratch marks on the door and a single iridescent sequin. That sequin appears to have come from a woman's clothing. The episode then follows Caleb's killer, who mugs a homeless girl named Ginny and steals her identity. She calls the domestic violence shelter, pretends to be an abuse victim, and manages to get herself admitted under Ginny's name. Once alone, she removes her wig and hides the sequin bag under her bed. Now meanwhile, Alice meets her sister Amy and some friends at a bar before heading home with a date. However, rather than sleeping with him, she challenges him to spar with her and eventually sends him away. Afterwards, Alice suddenly remembers another case involving Adrian Morado, a drug dealer who was supposedly killed by his girlfriend through an overdose. At the station, Alice and Danny look through the CCTV footage and try to identify the masked woman seen with Caleb. The dust mask makes her impossible to recognise, and Alice struggles to find a direct connection between Caleb and Adrian. Later, Alice looks into the Easton family's philanthropy and digs through old police files, eventually finding a closed case that links Caleb to Adrian. The next day, she meets State's attorney, Nora Washington, to discuss the case. Nora explains that Adrian was a sex trafficker and may have been killed by one of his victims. Alice asks about the women involved, but Nora says these cases are difficult because many victims are traumatised, addicted and emotionally tied to their traffickers. Nora then brings Alice along to meet Tina, a minor involved in another trafficking case. Alice gives Tina her jacket, trying to encourage her to attend the hearing. In the back of the shelter, Ginny joins a group session and listens as other women talk about their abuse. She manages to comfort one of the residents, impressing the receptionist before asking about getting a new ID so she can work. The receptionist explains she has to stay at the shelter for 60 days, but offers to write her a fake reference letter. Later, Ginny looks at her new ID before searching online for a lawyer named Oliver Charles. At the police station, Alice and Danny question Caleb's teenage neighbour, who was seen on CCTV interacting with the masked woman. He claims she flashed him from the porch and remembers one key detail: she had a poppy flower tattoo on her waist. At the shelter, the receptionist finds drugs hidden in Ginny's sequined bag and confronts her about it. She also asks about Oliver Charles, but Ginny distracts her by flirting and eventually kisses her. Later, Ginny gets a job as a waitress at a party and serves Oliver Charles directly. At the same time, Alice receives a call from the hospital informing her that Tina has been injured in a car accident. Nora arrives and reveals that Tina was also recruiting other girls into trafficking for money. Nora then gives Alice a flash drive containing Adrian's case files. The two also discuss female serial killers, trauma, and what might drive a woman to target powerful men. Nora brings up Alice's abusive ex-boyfriend and compares victims of assault to Medusa, someone victimised, then branded a monster. That night, Oliver takes Ginny home and makes her sign an NDA before they sleep together. Ginny tells him to do whatever he wants. Meanwhile, Alice goes through the files Nora gave her and finds CCTV footage of Adrian attacking a girl at a convenience store. As it turns out, that girl happens to have a poppy flower tattoo on her waist. The episode then ends with Ginny singing Oliver a lullaby as he sleeps, revealing that very same tattoo. So right from the start, Furious sets itself up as a dark, uncomfortable thriller about rage, trauma and revenge. From what we've seen so far, Ginny appears to be a survivor of sex trafficking, and she's targeting the men who abused her. Adrian seems to have been the first, Caleb was next, and Oliver Charles now looks like target number 3. The show also draws this interesting parallel between Ginny and Alice. Both women appear to be carrying deep trauma, and they deal with that anger in very different ways. Alice tries to control hers through fighting and discipline, while Ginny channels hers into manipulation and murder. Honora's role is interesting too, because she feels like the one character here willing to ask the uncomfortable question at the heart of this story. When a woman goes after men like Adrian, how much sympathy are we supposed to have? Now visually, the show is already leaning hard into red and orange lighting, especially around Alice and Ginny. It's not very subtle, but it does work, reflecting the rage bubbling under the surface for both women. Overall, this is a strong opening episode. It's dark, triggering no doubt, and definitely not an easy watch, but it does set up a compelling cat and mouse story with a morally messy centre. The big question now is whether Alice can solve this case without being pulled too deeply into her own past. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.